for my husband and I the other day, and when I tell y'all he stood up to eat it, he didn't even sit down because it's that good, and I know that you guys are gonna love it too. So just a quick update or quick intro about myself. So I've been vegan for about 4 years now. I have been creating vegan recipes for 2.5 years, and that's when I started my vegan food blog. It eventually branched out to an Instagram channel, Instagram account, a YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I'm all over the place. And you can find me as Sweet Greens Vegan on just about every platform, so be sure to check it out. Quick housekeeping, we do have a chat box that is open for you to ask questions, comments, if you need me to slow down, if you need some tips and tricks on a vegan lifestyle, be sure to utilize that. My husband is my intern for the day, so he will be making sure that we address all the questions and comments that you guys have. Again, tonight we're going to be making a delicious vegan Calabrian chili. We're going to be using Open Nature's plant-based grounds, so let's get started. So hopefully you guys have all of your ingredients set aside, but if not, I'll read them off just so you can make sure you get them ready. We're going to be using a tablespoon of olive oil. We're also going to need a yellow onion. We're going to use half of the yellow onion. We're going to use 4 minced garlic cloves. We have some yummy tomatoes. Hopefully you guys are a tomato fan because we use a lot of tomatoes in this recipe. We have 28 ounces of canned whole peel tomatoes. Now for the seasonings, we're going to be using a teaspoon of fennel. You're also going to need a tablespoon of garlic powder. You'll need 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, half a teaspoon of oregano, salt and pepper, of course. You always gotta use salt and pepper. And we're also going to use 2 to 3 tablespoons of the Calabrian chili paste. Now y'all, this gets a little spicy, so if you're not a huge fan of spice, I would highly recommend maybe starting off with 1 to 2 tablespoons versus the 2 to 3. So just dial it back just a little bit. And the star of tonight is our Open Nature plant-based grounds. Guys, this plant-based ground is so delicious. It's actually made from pea protein and has 20 grams of protein. You can use it in tacos, as you see here. You can use it in pasta, which is what we're doing tonight. Burgers, the possibilities are endless. So let's go ahead and start to prep our ingredients. We're gonna start off by cutting our yellow onion. Hopefully you guys are cooking along with me. Please use the chat if you have identified where you can drop some questions or some comments. Just gonna peel all of this off. Let's see, just give this a good cut. I don't know if you guys know this trick. I think I saw it on somebody's YouTube channel, but it's just an easy way to cut up your onion, where you just make a bunch of little slices like this. It just makes life so much easier. Let's pull this back as well.
So quick question from the chat. The recipe calls for 14.5 ounces of tomatoes. Should we use 28 instead?
So that is correct. It is 14.5 ounces. I actually accidentally used too many. I accidentally poured too many in here. So yeah, stick with the 14.5 ounces. Because we're also going to use, and this is completely optional, we're also going to use some pasta sauce. This is for those who really like their pasta to be extra saucy. So yeah, that's an option there. So you can see how I'm cutting this. It just makes it so much easier to dice it. Just gonna cut it down like this, and voila. Look at that, so easy, so easy. So we're gonna use half of an onion. And there we go, perfect. Let's clean that off. All right, so what we're going to do now is I would highly recommend starting your pasta water. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna turn that up. So the pasta should take about 12 to 14 minutes to cook, depending on which pasta you're using. I will actually be using bucatini pasta, so just be mindful of that as well. And then we can go ahead and start with these ingredients over here. So we'll first add our onions as well as our garlic so that we can let those brown and become really fragrant. There we go. So you're going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Now, if you're not a fan of olive oil, you can definitely add, I would say, like a little bit of vegetable broth in here. Maybe about 1 to 2 tablespoons of vegetable broth as a good substitute. So we're going to let that heat up really quick. And this is the pasta that I will actually be using. I don't know where you guys can see this from here, but you can't forget to use the open nature. So again, this has 20 grams of protein, which is amazing. 20 grams of protein per serving. So be sure to check this out as well. So I think this is getting hot. So we can go ahead and start adding in our onions. Now, if you're like me, you love to cook with onions and garlic. I feel like it's a staple for just about every dish that I cook. Just about every dish, and it is so put together. It just makes the house smell really good. And it also makes it smell like you're just cooking the best dish ever. And although this is very, very simple, so let's add this in here. Give that a good mix.
You got some fans of your pots and pans.
Oh, yeah. These are really, really good. And they're super cute. Like, look at that color. It's amazing. I believe it's a Caraway brand. So yeah, if you are interested in checking it out. So we're just going to let these cook down for about 2 to 3 minutes.
All right, so while that cooks, let's ask you a couple of questions.
Yep.
First, what is your favorite part about being vegan?
I would say my favorite part about being vegan is honestly, I guess maybe I can start with being a vegan creator, is having the opportunity to do this where I can share amazing recipes with different people from across the world or across the United States, or even if I'm doing something locally, just exposing people to different plant-based meals and ways of eating. I would say just in general, my favorite thing about being plant-based is just how creative I can get when it comes to cooking. So being able to replicate a lot of the meals, and again, I've only been vegan for about 4 years now, so I grew up not eating a vegan diet. I grew up eating potatoes, the typical dinner meals and lunch meals, but just being able to get creative and recreate some of those meals that I used to enjoy before I was vegan, but putting a vegan spin to it. So that's been really fun, showing people that it's possible to take on a vegan lifestyle and still enjoy the same meals that you used to eat before. And keep cooking these down. The onions are starting to sweat a little bit, so that's good. And if you are cooking this, like, your house probably smells amazing, huh? I feel like every dish needs to have onions and garlic. And so once these cook down a bit, then we're going to add the plant-based grounds. Now I've had these in tacos, and I think I also made like a quesadilla with it. So good. So good. Does anybody need me to slow down? Do you have any other questions? If so, my sweet green vegan intern is monitoring the chat box and waiting for you guys, so let us know if you have a question or a comment. Oh, this smells so good. Like, oh my gosh, this smells amazing. So we're gonna let that cook for maybe like another minute or so.
Susan says you were very personable on camera. Thank you for this time.
Oh, yay! I'm so glad you liked it. So, Susan, I have a YouTube channel, and I have been practicing for probably the past, since May. I've had a YouTube channel, and I'm like always in front of my camera. Luckily for me, when I'm recording YouTube, I can like stop and edit. But this is live, and I am treating this like it's my YouTube channel. So that makes me so happy that my personality is coming out. All right, guys, so I think we can go ahead and add our plant-based browns. I already have some open here, so we're just going to pour that in. Guys, it is so crazy how well this crumbles. It crumbles just as if you're cooking with a regular ground meat. And the taste is amazing. So,
you've also got some fans of your shoes.
Oh my!
Got more than one.
These old things. Thanks, guys. I wish I could tell you where I got them from, but I feel like I got them so long ago. I don't remember.
So while that's cooking up, I think now's probably a good time for you to share what your experience has been with the people around you when you shift into a vegan lifestyle. You may want to repeat the question.
Yeah. So I'm going to add, if you're cooking along, I would recommend adding maybe just like a little bit more olive oil, or if you are cooking with vegetable broth, maybe add a little bit more vegetable broth here. But let me answer that question. So I would say, what was the question again? One more time.
So the question was, with you shifting to a vegan lifestyle, how is that? How did your family and friends receive that? How have your relationships changed? That kind of thing.
Perfect. So I don't know if you guys heard it, but the question was like, with me changing my diet to a vegan diet, like how has that impacted my relationships with my family, friends, my husband? So I would say it's been like my family, family and friends have always been like super supportive of really everything that I've done. And I was actually surprised at how easily accepted me changing my diet was. And it made it that much easier. Like people were actually interested in knowing like, hey, what are you cooking? How do you cook this? Like, can you give me tips? And now it's to the point where my friends and family actually reach out to me and say, hey, Shakayla, I'm at the grocery store. I want to buy XYZ. Do you recommend this brand? Or look what I just bought from the grocery store. Or look at, I went out to eat. This is something that I ordered. So I would say my friends and family have been very, very accepting. And they've also been interested in eating more of a plant-based diet. My husband and I, so really quick, my husband is not vegan. I would say he's like a part-time vegan. He probably eats like 60-70% vegan when he doesn't want to cook. And so we find a balance where like if he wants to eat something different, he can, but majority of the time he does eat what it is that I'm cooking. For example, this Calabrian Chili Pasta, he loved it. This was a hit. So let's get back over here. I'm cooking this up. So good. It really starts to brown perfectly. I'm just going to keep cooking it a little bit longer. There we go. And just break it up so you have like smaller pieces and not so big chunks. That's what I would recommend. Let's just keep going. And our water should start to boil soon. And as soon as the water starts to boil, we'll add in some salt, season it, salt it very, very well, and then we'll start to cook our pasta noodles. Be sure to let me know in the chat how it's going. Do you guys need me to slow down, speed up maybe? Be sure to let me know. Utilize the chat. We're just going to keep browning that for a little bit longer.
So advice would you have for somebody that is just now considering shifting over to more of a vegan lifestyle?
Yeah, I would say the advice that I would give you if you're interested in shifting to a vegan or plant-based lifestyle is don't be afraid to try new vegetables. I actually get really, really excited when I go to the grocery store and I find new vegetables. I don't think before I went vegan, I was a huge fan of like kale and Brussels sprouts, but it's like now you can't pay me not to eat those. So definitely don't be afraid to try new vegetables. I would also say think about like the meals that you enjoy that may not be vegan and put a vegan spin to it. So like I have a digital cookbook that is centered around holiday, and it includes a lot of our holiday traditional holiday meals. So I would highly recommend taking some of those dinner or lunch ideas that, you know, aren't necessarily vegan and putting a vegan spin to it. So I would say that's one. I would say also don't be afraid to get in the kitchen and be creative. I know prior to me being vegan, honestly guys, I did not cook that much. I think I was kind of forced to get into the kitchen and start to cook, and it's made life so much easier just being able to whip up some quick meals in the kitchen. So I would definitely say that. Let's see, so that's 3. Let's see.
I got a quick question for you from the chat.
Okay.
Does the protein need to be cooked all the way through, and how do you know you've cooked it sufficiently?
Yeah, I would definitely say cook it all the way through. I think what I like most about this is that you can kind of like break it apart and actually see if there's still pink in there. And I just like to cook mine. I honestly cook it a little bit longer than recommended just to be sure. And also like my vegan meat to be a little bit crispy. I don't know about you guys, but I like the vegan meat to be a little bit crispy. So I would say cook it a lot longer than maybe recommended. And then until it's like not as pink anymore. I wish y'all could smell this. It smells a lot. I'm sure it smells amazing in your house too, huh? But this smells so, so good. Like you can start to see it browning a lot more. So we're just gonna do that. It's so, so good. And again, this plant-based, the Open Nature plant-based browns, they are free from 110 food additives. So definitely a healthy alternative for you if you are looking to take on, you know, more meatless Mondays or more plant-based meals. What I also like about it is that it's minimally processed, because sometimes in the market you can see a lot of processed foods, but this is very minimally processed. And the 3 key ingredients are actually water, pea protein, and oil. So
a couple of questions for you. One really quick. What temperature are you cooking at right now?
Oh, I definitely should have mentioned that. Sorry about that, guys. So I have it at about medium heat. So hopefully that helps you.
And then we have a question that I can relate to. So Nancy says, I'm a lazy cook. Are there easy vegan recipes for everyday use?
Oh, yes, Nancy. So I have a ton. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit so I can come talk to you guys. But I have a ton of recipes on my website. I actually have like this amazing, it's like a 10-minute barbecue chickpea taco recipe. So good. And I think I actually just posted recently on my YouTube channel. I made like different meals in like 15 to 30 minutes. Like it's so easy to cook, I guess simple and quick and easy meals. I also like to do a lot of meal prep. So on Sundays, I tend to meal prep like my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it tends to make the week a lot easier when you are busy and on the go. So I would highly recommend that.
So are you reading the chat in your mind? Because the next question was, what meals do you suggest if I'm looking to meal prep?
Oh, yes. Okay, so pasta is always a good one. This pasta was one that I made, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and I meal prepped this. I also like to meal prep like different vegetables. So maybe cook a batch of like sweet potatoes. You can also cook a batch of cabbage. And then it's a good way for you to just like piece meals together throughout the week. I'm the type of person, I can't eat the same thing over and over again. So that's why I like to, cook random things. So in one of my recent YouTube videos, I think I made cabbage. I made some vegan meatballs, which you can make vegan meatballs with this. I made vegan meatballs. I think I made some sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts. I made a batch of quinoa, and I was able to just get super creative in the kitchen like that.
Next question, do you need to take any vitamin or mineral supplements with a vegan diet?
It's a really, really good question. I would say for me, okay, so this meat is like starting to look really good, guys, by the way. But I would say for me, what I like to do, so if you can see, like, it's starting to get a little crispy. Guys, this is gonna be so good. Okay, so let me get back to the question. Sorry, I got really excited. We're just gonna let this sit, maybe brown a little bit more, and then our water should start to boil, and we'll start to cook our noodles. But this gives us a lot of time to actually start chit-chatting if you guys have more questions. Okay, so I did a lot of talking, so what was the question again?
Yeah, do you need to take any vitamin or mineral supplements with a vegan diet?
Yep, so I would say definitely consult with your physician, health physician. I would say start there. What I like to do is, like, I'll get a physical, of course, every year, and I'll also get some lab work done, and they'll tell me, hey, you're deficient, or maybe I'm not deficient, but maybe I'm deficient in B12, and I'll take a B12 vitamin. I think one or a couple vitamins that are just good to take is like a probiotic, of course, and a daily vitamin, but everything else I would say it's specific to your body and what you may need. So if you are looking to take on a plant-based or vegan lifestyle, be sure to start with a physician to get your physical and some lab work done so that you are taking the vitamins that are best for you. We're gonna cook this up a little bit more. Oh, this looks so good. Oh my gosh, look at that. It looks so, so good. Oh my gosh. And it smells amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna add in those seasonings that we discussed as well. I actually have them just already separated in here. Add those in. And if you're a fan of garlic like I am, I just turned the heat up a little bit more, but if you're a fan of garlic like I am, definitely add a little bit more garlic powder. I love garlic. Love, love, love it. So we're just gonna mix that up really, really good. This looks so good. I cannot wait to dig in. I don't even know if I want to share this. I don't know. I don't think I should. My husband can like eat noodles or something, right? Like, this is gonna be so good. So, so good. Okay. So we're just gonna let that cook down a little bit more. And right now, I would say, hopefully your plant-based ground is cooked really well. I would say now is a good time to taste it and make some adjustments if needed. So maybe you want to add some red pepper flakes. Now, if that's what you want to do, this Calabrian chili paste is a little spicy. So if that's what you want to do that. You can add some more salt and pepper as well. All right. So I think that is good. So next we're going to add in our whole tomatoes, y'all. And I'm glad that you guys reminded me that it's only 14 and a half and not 28. So I'm going to use half of these and not the whole thing.
So Pat shared that they just visited your website and the recipes look unbelievable. They just bookmarked it.
Oh, yay! Thanks, Pat. If you give any of them a try, make sure you leave a comment and let me know.
Also, Susan mentioned that I've been a good representative, so you gotta feed me too.
Listen, Susan, you are more than welcome, okay? You are more than welcome. You can take my husband's plate. Okay, so we're gonna mix this up a little bit more. Perfect. And now is when we're going to add in the Calabrian chili paste. And also, so I also got this from Albertsons as well. Guys, this is so good. It's a signature reserve line. So I'm going to add like 1/4 cup of this inside of here as well. And it does seem like our pasta is taking forever. So I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit more. But I'm going to add like 1/4 cup of this in here. This isn't a super saucy dish, so if you do like, extra saucy pasta, add a little bit more. I would say the beautiful thing about cooking in general and also cooking plant-based food is that you can make it your own. Like, you don't necessarily have to follow a recipe to a T, adjust it to your liking. All right, now it's time for the spice. I hope y'all are ready. Hopefully you're not a baby like I am, but we're gonna add the Calabrian chili paste in there. And just mix that up really good. Yes, yes, yes. This is gonna be so delicious. Now I will say that if you are cooking, hopefully this will start to cook soon, but if you are, or boiling soon, if you are cooking your noodles in a large pot or your meat sauce in a large pot, you can either combine everything. I like to cook my noodles and then just like add the meat sauce on top, but it's your prerogative. Do what is best for you.
And so Debbie just wanted to confirm what was in the bottle that you just added.
Oh, so assuming you're referring to this, this is a pasta sauce. Sorry about that, Debbie. This is a tomato and garlic pasta sauce. And any pasta sauce will do that you have. This is the one that I'm using for tonight.
We also got a comment saying a lot of vegan recipes are bland and boring. I appreciate your use of lots of spices.
Oh, yes. Listen, we don't want any boring food, okay? We have to spice our meals up. Guys, I swear, like, I get so excited when I know, like, my food is going to be so delicious. I actually, like, wake up thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner. Like, because you have to spice it up and make sure that it tastes amazing.
So on that topic, what are your go-to spices?
Listen, you can't go wrong with garlic powder and onion powder. Like, if a recipe does not call for garlic powder and onion powder, I didn't make it, and I'm probably not gonna make. No, I'm kidding. But garlic powder and onion powder are always good. Smoked paprika, it's always a good one. Of course, salt and pepper, but I feel like that's a given, right? I like to use cumin in a lot of my dishes, and let's see. So garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, cumin. One other one that you guys may not be familiar with is Indian black salt. So it is actually it's like a powder. I actually have some, so I'll pull it out just to show you guys. But it's like a powder, and it helps give dishes like an eggy type of flavor. So if you are cooking maybe like a tofu scramble or a chickpea scramble, and you add some of this Indian black salt, it helps give that eggy flavor to the dish as well. So I would probably say those are my top five, top four, top five. Yeah. So make sure you taste this. Ooh, this is gonna be so good. All right, and I'm actually gonna turn the heat off of this. I think our water is starting to boil. Hopefully y'all's water is also boiling.
Hey, so Mary's asking, at what point do we use the basil for the recipe?
Mary, the basil goes on top. You gotta, so we're gonna chop this up and sprinkle it on top. I like to keep the basil fresh and not necessarily cooked in, only because then like the flavors just really, really pop. But Mary, if you want to add it in now and then add more on top, listen, I'm sure that's going to be amazing as well. I'm just going to get started with my noodles. There we go. All right. I don't know if you guys have bucatini noodles or if you've cooked with them, but they are so, so cool because it's like the inside of it is kind of hollow. It's so cool. I think this might be my new favorite pasta shape and type. So I'm gonna start to add in the salt. And again, we want to be very generous with the salt because we want our noodles to absorb the flavor from the salty water as well. Look at this. Like, Okay, I'm taking it off of here just so I can show you guys. Thank you. Look at, I'm sure yours looks amazing as well, but that just looks so good. So good. All right, I'm just gonna taste it.
So one other question, right after you take that bite.
Okay, keep going.
So for the people that joined a little bit later in the call or missed the beginning, can you just share why you chose to be vegan?
Yeah, so I chose to be vegan for really, like, I guess I would say preventative health concerns. I just think I know a lot of people who, you know, like, things happen with their health and they're then told, like, hey, I need you to, you know, cut back on meat or eat more vegetables. And I didn't want to wait for somebody to tell me that. And I'm not saying that that was going to happen to me, but it was just what I saw around me. So I decided to, you know, take the action on my own and say, hey, you know, it can be a healthier lifestyle if you make it a healthier lifestyle. I also feel a lot better with it, like eating the way that I eat. I never thought that, even if I think about like younger Shakayla, like if I told her, hey, you get excited about eating a bowl of vegetables, like she would probably be like, girl, get out of my face. But I actually get excited about like the meals that I'm eating, knowing like they're so fresh and colorful. I think that's also another thing, is taking on like a plant-based and vegan lifestyle. Like your plates are so colorful. So it was mainly for preventative health reasons, just based off of, you know, the people that were around me, the people that I know who were being told that they need to cut back on certain things. And yeah, just wanted to put myself first. And not necessarily wait for somebody to tell me how I need to change the way that I'm eating.
So Brandy asked a good question. She goes, would it be a good idea to use plant-based protein in a taco shell?
Of course, yes. And I mean, if you buy the Open Nature plant-based ground, they have a really delicious looking taco on the packaging. But yeah, you can make like Korean barbecue tacos using the plant-based grounds. You can also do, I would say, maybe like a buffalo plant-based ground, and you put like buffalo sauce on it, or just keep it traditional as well. But these are really good in tacos, so be sure to try that as well. Let's go check on the water. All right, so it's starting to rumble, so we're just gonna keep it moving, okay, guys? We're just gonna keep it moving. I probably should have started this first, but hey, we're just gonna make it do what it do. So I would say, like, if you are cooking, maybe for like you and your family, or you want to have a bunch of pasta left over, I would say definitely go with cooking maybe like 4 to 5 servings of the pasta sauce, just so you can have some left over and to share with family, friends, or to enjoy it by yourself, like I'm probably gonna do.
We have a question from Kay saying, don't you miss cheese?
I mean, there's some really good vegan cheese out there, y'all. Like, I got vegan cream cheese. I got some vegan shredded cheese. Now, I would say they're not all created equally. So if you do have questions about maybe some brands that you can try, definitely let me know. But I would say no. Like, I've been able to find some really good options out there that melt well on burgers or in pasta, or even just making like a grilled cheese sandwich. I've been satisfied.
Another question we have is, I'm hosting Thanksgiving for my non-vegan family this year, and I can't wait to make this for them. Well, that's not a question, that's a statement. But the next one is, do you have a special vegan Thanksgiving side dish?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I actually have a holiday-themed digital cookbook, and it has, I would say, I think it's maybe like 10 or 11 side dishes in there. Has everything from a vegan jalapeno cheddar cornbread. Also has fried oyster mushrooms. I think I have a stuffing in there. I don't know if I have a stuffing. I think I do. No, not stuffing. Dressing. I have a dressing in there, not stuffing. I have a collard green recipe. I have a glazed carrot recipe in there as well. But I would also say that with this, you can probably even do like meatballs. I would say that another good one with this that you could do for maybe if you want like a main, you could do like a meatloaf. You can make a meatloaf out of these plant-based grounds. And let's see, what else could you do for Thanksgiving? I would say the meatloaf is definitely good.
Did you say your mac and cheese?
Oh my gosh, how did I forget that? Thank you. Vegan mac and cheese, yes, because that mac and cheese is so good. We hosted a Meatless Monday maybe over a year ago, and I served the vegan mac and cheese, and people were like, how is this vegan? And that's in my cookbook as well. So if you go to my website, you can find a link to purchase the cookbook. It's only a digital download, so if you need like a hard copy, just feel free to print that out and save it as well. But good luck with Thanksgiving. I hosted my first Thanksgiving a couple years ago, and it was a hit. It was a hit. Everybody was like, this is so good. So I was like, yay.
Crystal said, oh wow, all of those sound amazing.
Yes, Crystal, they are so good. They are so good. Okay, so I think these noodles are, yes, they are moving. They are moving. But I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun as well. Hopefully you're cooking along. And if you are cooking along, be sure to post it on Instagram or on Facebook and tag my account as Sweet Greens Vegan. And I want to see, your creations, and I want to be able to repost them, and they'll just make my heart all warm and fuzzy. So be sure to take pictures if you guys are making this.
Tia had a quick question. So what did you say earlier about chickpeas?
Yes.
And did you add any beans to this recipe?
Yep. So I didn't add any beans to this recipe, but chickpeas are a really good source of protein, I will say. They also make really good, like if you want to do like a chickpea patty or a chickpea burger, they're very versatile. I mean, it's a bean, it mashes, so you can combine that with maybe some onions, garlic, like sweet potato, and you can have like a sweet potato chickpea burger. I've made it before, so delicious. But yeah, it's a really good source of protein, very nutritious as well. So I think the pasta water finally started to boil. So I'm very happy about that. The next time if we do pasta, of course I'll have the water boiling before we start to cook so that it is ready. But we shouldn't have much longer with this as well. So we'll just come back over here and just test out our pasta, see how it's doing. I think we probably have maybe about 3 more minutes. So while we wait for that, if you guys have any questions, any other questions, I've been loving the engagement. So please keep it up. I think that's probably is what is helping me just like have an easier conversation with y'all. So yeah, I've been loving it.
So Tracy shared, I love all this. Thank you so much. I also come from a meat and potatoes family, but my husband's side is vegan and pescatarian.
Yeah.
All the hints and substitutes are very helpful.
Good. I'm trying to think of some more substitutes. I actually have a YouTube video of like my top 10 favorite vegan products. And it includes like an oat milk, definitely a plant-based ground because it's very versatile. I have a canned chickpeas in there. I have a variety of seasonings that I like to use in my recipes. Pasta I think is a really good staple. So whether you have the signature reserve pasta or maybe like a chickpea pasta, that's definitely a good one. But yeah, I have a whole video on like my top 10 vegan items. Like if you want to go vegan, this is what you need to have. So yeah.
Carolyn asks, can you get enough protein vegan without the legumes, so beans, peas, lentils, etc.?
Yeah, so I would say without that, I think what you would also have to look into is, are you okay with eating soy? Because tofu is also a really good way to gain some additional protein. You also have textured vegetable protein, which can be used. Let's see, what else can you use? Of course, these plant-based grounds, again, 20 grams of protein per serving, like you can't beat that for sure. But as I mentioned, you would actually be surprised at how much protein is in vegetables. So I would definitely say, being a vegetable girl, just look and seeing how much protein is in those servings that you are eating. Because again, kale, mushrooms, and all that good stuff has some protein for you as well. What we're about to do now is we are going to... Oh, this is so heavy. All right, perfect. draining the pasta, and we are going to plate it, y'all. I'm so excited because it's about to be so good. Okay, wait, let me get my basil. You can either chop the basil, or you can break it up into very small pieces. So while I do that, also, so I know that some of you guys that are joining us, you are from Fresh Pass or For You, which is the Albertsons and the companies under Albertsons, their subscription and different programs. So make sure if you are not a part of those programs, make sure you check it out because you get some really good perks. Like if it's your birthday, they will give you some discounts. You can get some rewards. You can also, if you are new to the program, they give you $5 off your first purchase of $25. So be sure to check that out. I know I need to sign up for it so that I can get some of those perks because I love to get discounts for my birthday. So I'm gonna bring everything over here. Perfect. All right, so I have my pasta, I have my tongs. Let's see. Guys, this is about to be so good. Oh my gosh. These are still really hot, but okay. So I'm a pasta girl, so y'all don't judge me because I'm about to get some extra scoops here. And then we are going to add our Calabrian chili meat sauce. Just gonna scoop that on there. Luckily, it is still hot. Y'all, this looks and smells so good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Okay, and here I'm going to add the fresh basil on top. Now is a good time if you are a spice person. You can add some more red pepper flakes. Now listen, my spice level is like, if you give me a scale of 1 to 5, I'm probably staying like 1.5, 2. So if you are the spice person, definitely add more. But if not, I think that you'll be good here, just like I am. I love fresh basil. Can't remember who it was. Was it Nancy who mentioned the basil, cooking the basil? I'm gonna add a lot on top. Like, I love basil. And then we're just gonna mix everything up together. And I'm gonna bring this closer so you guys can see it. Like, look at how delicious that looks. Looks so good. So good. I know my intern gave me a fork, so let me grab that. Just so I can taste it. I have my water handy just in case things get a little crazy, y'all. I'm so excited. All right. Hopefully your plates are made because we are all about to take our very first bite. Oh gosh. Our very first bite of this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. All right, here goes nothing. All right, talk to y'all later. This is so good. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, y'all. And then with the fresh basil, like the plant-based grounds, like cooked perfectly with those added seasonings, it is amazing. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed this cooking experience. Thank you so much to Open Nature for having me. This was my first live cooking class, y'all. And I'm so glad I got to do it with Albertsons and Open Nature. And I'm so glad that you guys joined me, asked amazing questions. Be sure to check out my website, my YouTube channel, all that good stuff. But I'm about to go stuff my face. I might share with my husband, I don't know yet. But I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much.